Hello, and welcome to What Happens in This House Stays in This House Strength Over Silence podcast. I'm your host, Tammy Montgomery Dozier, and again, I want to thank you for listening to me again this week. Believe me, I am enjoying this. I'm enjoying the feedback that I'm getting from you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I truly appreciate it. This particular subject came in my heart. I had done a vision board class last week. And it was a different type of class. I truly enjoyed it. And it dealt with spirituality versus, like if you've ever done a vision board class, basically you just look through the books or magazines or you download or you print something that's important to you and you just put it on the board of the things that you want to accomplish with your life. So say, for instance, you want to get a master's degree or different places that you want to travel to. So you put this on the board and you keep it up. I have a vision board now. And it's amazing how when you put those things up there, you say those are the things that you want. You think, okay, well, it's just going to come true because I put it up there. I saw the secret and this is what they told me. This is how it's supposed to work. However, when you have a vision board and you put it on there, you may or may not look at it every day because there are times when I don't. But you go back and you look, you're like, oh my God, these things are coming into fruition. But what I realize is that it's a process. It's a process to get to all these things that you are trying to do. It just doesn't happen overnight. You have to work for it. So during this vision board class, one of the questions was, who do you need to forgive? And write it down. At first, I was going to, write it down and just try to BS myself and the answer. And what good it was going to do anybody? None whatsoever. Because there are some things in life that are hard hitting to you. Because sometimes we like to think that, okay, we are okay. We love everybody. And that's just not so. So I began, and I had to be honest with myself for the things of the people that it hit me at my belly, my gut of the things. And I knew when I was answering the questions correctly, because then it was like I could breathe. I had said what I had been holding in all these years and things that I know that are there. And I just took a breath and I knew that it was true. Forgiveness is one of those things that is very, very hard to deal with. It's hard to forgive other people. It's hard to forgive yourself. And the reason why it's just so important to forgive, whether it be yourself or somebody who's wronged you, the reason why is because it can hold you back in life. It can stop you from doing things in your life. Just imagine just being mad at somebody for all these years and only to realize that if something happened to them or they pass away, that whatever you were angry at them for or you hadn't forgiven them for was just not even as important as them not being in your life ever. As long as they're in this world, you're okay. You can be mad at them physically. You can see, you know that they are still around. You know that their existence is still here. But that forgiveness things hit differently when you no longer have that decision to make to say, you know what, I forgive you for all the things that you've done to me. And forgiveness is one of those things that can create, if you don't do it, it can create anxiety, unhealthy anger, depression. There are many people, substance abuse, in prisons, out there doing different things illegally, not loving themselves, cutting on themselves, doing so many things to hurt themselves and thinking that they're getting back at other people. And oftentimes that comes from not forgiving other people and not forgiving yourself. There may be some things that happen in your life somebody has done to you, and you feel the best way to get back at them is to hurt yourself, because that's basically what happens. And I've gone through it. I'm not here passing judgment on anybody. It was easier for me to be angry at myself. It was easy for me to torture myself. It was easy for me to fall into a depression. It was easy for me to talk that negative talk into my life and saying that, okay, Tammy, you're no good. This is who you should be. And, I recently read this book, or started reading this book by Louise Hay, and it talks about healing yourself. And in there, she has this part where it says a lot of people hold themselves back because of who they should be. And so you were supposed to sit down and write, I should be. This is what I should be doing. And oftentimes we hold ourselves back because we haven't forgiven ourselves for something. We're comparing ourselves to other people. Oh, I should be further along. Oh, I should be a size 5. Oh, I should have a better job. And that's just comparison. And for me, when I did that exercise, there is self-talk that I do to myself, things that I still have not forgiven myself for, that I am saying, okay, well, I should be this and I should be that. And I should be who I am. I'm working on myself on a daily basis. And there are some things that I have to forgive. Maybe I didn't make all the right decisions, or I didn't go to the right schools. I have to forgive myself for the choices that I made and just keep on moving in life. Sometimes we are not going to make the right choices, and we are not going to be everything that everybody intends for us to be. You have to forgive yourself for those decisions. Maybe they have not always been the best. Maybe you're a parent. Maybe that decision that you did, it wasn't the best. But you have to forgive yourself. What else can you do? Because if you hold on to it, then you're going to torture yourself. And then there may be something out there that you were created to do or you should be doing, and you're holding yourself back because you have not forgiven the decision. You have not forgiven yourself. Maybe you haven't forgiven somebody who's done something to you. For a while, growing up, there were some things that I wanted to do, and I did not do them. I wanted to go into the military. I let somebody talk me out of that. I wanted to be an artist. I let somebody talk me out of that. I made decisions which school, colleges to go to, and those were my decisions. And I had to forgive myself. And then sometimes when people tell us things or what they think is best for us and we listen to them, at that time, a lot of times when they're telling us that, they're not telling us to harm us, but they're giving you the information that they have, that they think that will work for you. And with that, sometimes we have to agree to disagree and know that we were created for something else. And it's okay to go ahead and do whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing, instead of waiting till later on in life and saying, I should be, I should have, because of a decision. And you're not forgiving yourself because you keep on repeating the pattern, listening to other people. And you keep on repeating the pattern because something has happened to you. And you go out there and you do these things and you harm yourself. I repeated the pattern where I was overweight and dealing with weight issues because of some things that I haven't forgiven myself for. Made mistakes, not forgiving myself. Credit card debt, not forgiving myself. Bad relationships, not forgiving myself. Things have happened, not forgiving to me, not forgiving other people. And there may be some instances that some people, I may have wronged them and they're looking for me to forgive them. And it could actually happen. Some people just leave your life and you're like, oh God, and you thinking that it's them, and it could be you too. Because we're not all perfect. We've done things to people. And sometimes people, just like we don't want to tell them what they did to us, it's the same thing. They don't want to tell you what you did to them. And it's all about communication and getting that out there, because then you'll find yourself losing friendships, and some you should lose, but you'll find yourself out there losing people in your life, all because of a miscommunication, all because sometimes we don't know what other people are going through. I see on Facebook, and people are like, well, if I call you and you don't call me back, or then you shouldn't be in my life, or, we have all these requirements of everybody else of what they should do for us. And sometimes we don't know what somebody else is going through. And something has been created where it has divided you and this person, and all it requires is some communication and some forgiveness. And that's why it is so important to forgive, because it can cause depression and anxiety, unhealthy relationships. That is something that we should think about. And ask yourself that question. Who should you forgive? Should you forgive yourself? Is there somebody in your life that has done something to you? Who should you forgive? It could be worked out, hopefully, if it's not too bad. And sometimes what we need to do is we need to develop a forgiving mind through empathy, putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. Growing up, you think your parents don't always make the right decisions, but one thing that I did learn as I got older in my 30s and 40s is that I realized that my parents made the best decisions that they knew how to make for the time and for the age that they were and with the knowledge that they had. May have not always been perfect. However, you now understand as you get older some of the decisions that they made, and they make more sense to you now. But when you're younger, of course not. You don't understand. So it made me understand and respect my parents even more instead of being angry with some of the things that I did not understand early on. Everybody goes through something, and those are some of the things we should look at. And another thing is that we should find meaning in our suffering. All the things that I have gone through, learning about myself, if I had not gotten to that place where I was able to write about it and share it and be transparent, then I wouldn't be sharing, I wouldn't be talking to you. If all those things hadn't happened and I had the help that I needed and I had the support around me that helped me to get to this point where I can be transparent with you. So I found meaning in my suffering. I feel like, hey, if I've gone through this and if somebody else may have gone through it, if I just talk about it, they don't have to tell me about their issues or whatever happened. But if I could talk about mine, maybe it'll make them feel free to talk about theirs. And in the midst of all of this, I have had people actually come to me and tell me all the things that they had and tell me the things that they're going through, and they want to talk. They want to hear my story. They want to share their story. So there's a meaning behind what we're going through. Think about it. In life, everything that has happened in life that has made differences, blood was shed, something was done in a tragedy. Like, look at the Amber Alert based off this young lady who was kidnapped, and it took the police so long to find out who the kidnappers were. Unfortunately, a lot of things come out of somebody else's pain. But know that you were created for a reason. Know that some of those things that you are going through is going to make you a better person. It's going to create a beast in you where you can just go out and tell other people about what you went through because you're still standing. When you're able to wake up another day and talk about your story and get through your day, you may not be ready to share just yet, but that time will come. Well, you say, well, you know what? This is the time for you to share your story. And hopefully maybe I've said something to make you want to, say something to somebody else about your story. And sometimes it is hard to forgive other people, yourself. And you have to call upon other people for strength. I know I have a very good network. I love my family. I love my friends. I can call them whenever I need to. There was a time where I didn't think that anybody would understand what I was going through. Hate me time where I went through where I just hated myself so much. I didn't think I was worthy. I don't know why God felt the need to have me here because I wasn't doing anything for the world. And that's where forgiveness of yourself comes in at. And finally, when I opened up to my friends and told them about my struggle, that was like one of the best decisions I had ever made. They were able to help me. They were able to share some things with me. And there was no judgment. That's one of the best things, to have people that you can talk to that don't share judgment. Now, you can't tell your story with everybody because everybody will not understand everything that you are going through. Believe me. And some people may be happy that you're going through it. But those people that love you, you know who they are. You know the ones that you can call in the middle of the night. You know who they are. And they can help you through the pain. They can help you with forgiveness of yourself. They can help you through all of those things. And so that's all I just wanted to share with you, is that this is life. We can all get through it together. And you just have to forgive yourself, forgive other people. When that young gentleman, Botham Jean, the one that was killed by the lady that decided that he was in her apartment, she went to the wrong apartment and killed him dead. And so she got put in jail. And at her trial, his brother, younger brother, asked the judge if he could hug the lady. And he went and hugged her because he said he had to forgive her. He just couldn't live his life. Are you that type of forgiving person? That if someone harms someone in your family, that you're able to forgive? Now that is forgiveness. Wow. I don't know if I'm there yet, but I would like to think that one day that I can get to the point where I can release some things that are holding me back. Still, I'm not perfect. Try to get through the day, just like everybody else, but we are all going to get through this together. Let me just share this story with you guys. I thought it was very interesting. An old man once had an argument with his only son. He tried to apologize many times, but the young man would not listen. The father never gave up because he loved his son with all his heart. But the son would not give in because he was too blinded by pride. Years passed, and as the man laid in his deathbed, he made an attempt to reconcile with his son, but still he would not listen, and so the father died with a heart full of grief. During this time, the son had a son who had now grown up into a young adult. This child had never mentioned his father, and when the young man asked about his grandfather, he would tell him, never mention him again. One day, they too both involved in a hard argument, and his son fled away as his father did many years before. The man was extremely saddened, and this time he had no pride, but felt completely isolated. He was afraid that he had lost his son forever, and for the first time after many years, he turned to God in prayer. At that moment, something filled his heart, and he realized how his father must have felt many years back. He remembered he had hurt his old man, and only at that point he realized the extent of the hurt he had caused. The more he thought, the more he understood how unjust he was to his old father, the man who had given everything throughout his life. With these sad thoughts, he fell asleep on the couch. Next morning, when he opened up his eyes, he found himself tucked in bed. In front of him stood his son. The man could not believe his eyes, and the two hugged each other while they cried together. After lots of apologies, the young man explained that up until that day, before he felt a lot of hatred towards his father, but during that night he had a strange dream that touched his heart. He dreamt that an old man was hugging him, and he embraced him. All his hate turned into love. The old man then told him to forgive him and forget. He explained that as soon as he woke up, he came running to his father's house. At that point, the man told his son on the same night, he learned an important lesson, how he had let his father down when he was younger. The son wanted to know more about his grandfather, who he never met or saw, and this was the most appropriate time. The man went to an old bookshelf and fetched an old family album. He picked up an old photograph of his father and went to his son, saw it, and he remained dumbfounded. The son explained that the man in the photograph was the same one he dreamt of the night before. So remember, people, when you have that chance to forgive people, take it. I remember Patti LaBelle she does in her concert, she talks about how her and her sister had never talked again, and her sister ended up dying because of after an argument that they had. And I believe it had been some time before they had spoken to each other. So if you have it in your heart, if you have it in you, forgive those so you can move on with your life, so you can feel a peace, and so you can love, true love. And that happens with forgiveness. All right, I want to thank you guys for listening to me again to What Happens in This House Stays in This House, Strength Over Silence podcast. My name is Tammy Montgomery Dozier. Can be reached at 773-251-5537. My email address is podcast@cblconsulting.net. My website is www.connectedbyloveconsulting.net. And remember, people, that we are all connected by love. God bless.